everyone, this is the Hood again, and I wanted to talk a little bit today about ground tying a horse. So there are several different methods to teach a horse to ground tie. I often use the without a target method, but I will go over and talk about a little of the three methods that I know most about. The three methods that are the most used that I've seen are the positive pedestal method, the target method, and without a target method. And then there's the rope method. For this, the pedestal and target method, you teach the horse to step on a stool or like on a tank, and then you ask them to stand. Each time you do this, you give them positive reinforcement, and each session you should aim that the horse will stand there longer. The eventual goal is that you will switch out this pedestal for a mat or a tarp, and then eventually you will continue to work with them on the stand command and eventually move the tarp and or mat away so that they will stand on the ground alone. A lot of people suggest that you start this process on dirt or sand, or not a subject that, sorry, hair in my face, not a ground such as grass, so that they can get distracted easier. I often, in a lot of my videos, you will see me starting them on grass or on the gravel, but I prefer to start them on the grass so that they know that, yeah, we're starting this here, but you have to listen to me and ignore the distractions around me. So it is easier to teach this, like I said, it's easier to teach them over dirt or sand and then transition them to new environments. When you transition them to grass, you might want to start over in the training, as they do often get distracted and try to eat. But if you start them on grass to begin with, you'll already go through that process of teaching them to ignore the distraction of the grass. The stool and target method I often used doing Liberty trick training. Some will tell you to do this in a round pen. They often say that they don't listen to send them out and free lunge them a few times and then bring them back in and try again. This is said for all three methods. I personally don't do this, as I have seen by simply moving them where they are supposed to be and correcting them. So if you ask them to stand and they take a step up, you just get them to back up that step and then you ask them to stand again. And they'll eventually learn that where you ask them the first time to stand is a lot easier than moving around. The without a target method, you drop the lead and tell the horse to stand. If the horse moves, you say no and move the horse back to where they started. I personally don't mind them shifting their weight or looking around, but when they take a step or move in any direction, correct the horse by saying no and moving them back to where they started. Most horses will learn after a few times that they need to stand to get positive reinforcement. I recommend always using positive reinforcement. Eventually you will be able to increase the distance between yourself and the horse. I typically just ask them to stand, drop the rope, and just stand there beside them. And if they do good, I take a step back. If I have to correct them, I take the step forward or steps forward, correct them, and then I move back again. And then I increase the distance between us. And then there's the rope method. So you have a lead rope attached to your horse, and then you can either use a saddle or surgical or like a rope tied around their stomach, if that makes sense. You tie another rope, like a lunge line or long rope. You leave the lead rope on the ground and tell them to stand. You loop the other rope through the saddle or surgical or whatever you're using. And when or if they move, you tug on the rope from a distance. Some horses will stop and stand again. This is definitely not the method for every horse, as some horses do not like that. And I have definitely not had the best experience, and I've never really used the rope method a lot, so that could just be my opinion about it. When you teach a horse to ground tie, please remember to always teach your horse what I call the at ease command. So you either whistle, tell them to come, or there are a variety of other ways to let them know that they no longer have to stand. The best way is to get them to come to you and then finish the exercise. So, like I do kisses and then walk on, and they'll either come to me or someone will get distracted and meander off, and then you'll correct them and get them to come back to you. I hope this helps a lot. I know a few people asked me about the stand command and ground tying a horse. The stand command really does help, especially when you are in a show and you're in lineup. It's really easy to tell your horse to stand. And then when you're ready to get them to walk on, you tell them to walk on, especially in a driving show. That really helps with driving. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. Please let me know if there are any videos that you would like to see or any subjects that you would like to learn more about. Thank you.